Hello. This speaker has been recorded at a meeting of Addictive Eaters Anonymous. For more information, visit our website www.aeainfo.org.
My name is Meirion. I'm an addictive eater. It's good to be here. Claire asked me this afternoon if I'd share, and within about 5 minutes I've forgotten, which is helpful because it starts me thinking about. Don't know what to share about really. I arrived in AEA after having spent quite a few years in other fellowships. Not all of them were food fellowships. I'd ended up in a food fellowship because I started to get a bit better in some other areas of my life, but it's like as I got better in the other areas, the food kind of got worse. And the way I see it now is that there was I hadn't surrendered around the things I was doing and consuming, and until that happened, I needed to be using something. Just needed to be using something all the time. And so if you started to take one thing away, then something else would just come up and take its place, and it would just go along like that. So I got here knowing that I couldn't manage food. Like I just really tried, and the harder I tried, the worse it got. And it wasn't until I got sober here that some of the other troubling behaviours, particularly, I was able to get sober in those areas as well. It was like the key in the lock was coming to AEA, and the definition of sobriety here is freedom from food and or mind-altering substances, and for me that includes behaviours as well. You know, it seems really simple now. This understanding I have that I can't manage food. Once I kind of made that admission, it was like, oh, okay, well, it's no big deal then. It's no big deal. I just, it was a big deal before, and it's no big deal now. I just can't do it. And so I don't, the way we're set up here, I don't have to try. I just need to remember that I can't make good decisions about food. I can't manage food, and be willing to accept direction. And yeah, that's what I've done. And the problem with food's gone away. And I was someone who would sit in the meetings of this other food fellowship and think, oh, I'm going to be the one that doesn't get this, because everyone else was talking about like sobriety, and I just knew that I wasn't. I knew that, yeah, I just, even when it looked like I might be, like I knew I wasn't. So I was ready when I got here to accept direction and to give up. And it was quite a short time of coming here and being given a food plan that I just didn't feel the need to go out and buy stuff that I didn't need. I had one day, I'm a bit of a romantic really, and I like the idea of sitting in a cafe and reading a newspaper and watching the world go by and being at peace with the world and drinking coffee. And I tried that about, I can't remember if it was 1 month or 3 months after I got a food plan. I think it may have been a month. And I tried to do the cafe thing, and nothing I was given was right. Like the coffee wasn't right, soup wasn't right, because what I know now is that I need these things to be right, because they are going to determine how I'm going to feel for the next few hours, which is crazy. It's like, it's so important how my soup is and how my coffee is. That's going to determine how I feel and how I can interact with the world. So I don't have to do that anymore, thank God. And after that, I think that was the last thing where I just thought, okay, it's not going to work. Whatever I'm looking for in food is not delivering what I think I want it to deliver. So I can let it go. And then there was working the steps, or beginning to work the steps, and starting to try and live a sober life. And I like to think I've made it more difficult than anyone else has in living a sober life, but I think that probably isn't true. But there was a number of things that I was really unable to do before I got here that now seem possible. And for me, it involved staying in situations that I didn't want to stay in, or that I thought were too difficult or too challenging. And the first thing that I had to do that with was with work, because as soon as anything got difficult, I left. Yeah, so sticking around was something I was never able to. And in sobriety, I've kind of got a shot at sticking around when things get difficult and uncomfortable. And I read something in the big book today. It was in a story in the back, and it was describing the first year or year and a half of someone in sobriety. And he said, just in one sentence, he said something like, it was extremely difficult. And which, for him would have covered a year and a half's worth of living. I can look back at things and go, yeah, that was really difficult. It was really difficult. But there's not much else to be said. It's just like, oh, that was hard. But that's not what's happening now. So any situations now which are really difficult in 6 months or a year or 2 years, something will have happened, it will have passed. So that's probably all I'll share today, but it's good to be here and sober, and thanks for asking me to share.